Hello everyone, thank you so much for visiting my channel. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. And yes, let's get into the video. First I will be doing my brows. Y'all, I can't do my makeup without a mirror. So definitely I'm going in. I got my mirror right here. And I'm going to hopefully try to keep it on my face so y'all can still see me, but this is my eyebrows, child, and look, these gotta be right. I'm using my Anastasia brow pencil, the brow definer. It's so good, guys. And so I'm just going in now, and I'm just defining my brows. But to start, so yes, I got accepted to my law school in August, and it was literally the Friday before school starting. That's another thing that was different this year. The admission deadlines were extended due to COVID, and so I was able to apply actually in August. I want to say I applied it within the first week of August, and it definitely was not August 1st, guys. And so by the time I got my acceptance, school was actually starting the following Monday. And so I'll go ahead in another video and I'll just talk about all the things that went along with the admissions process. I think I'll talk about the LSAT being online and things of that nature in a different video, because I really just want to talk about my experience. Currently, I only have one final left, and it is December. And I just can't believe how quick my first semester was, and I can't believe how much I've learned. And what I mean by that is, when I first started, especially because I had just found out I was in school, everything was a little crazy. And while I was learning things, it's like the way my school is set up and the way orientation was done, you don't really have a moment of your time to really sit down and unpack it all in the way that I'm able to now. And so I feel like I was just moving. I did opt to see a therapist when I first started school, because I wanted to make sure that I was mentally prepared. And that's something that I would absolutely recommend to anyone at all who is interested in going to law school. And this is just the LA Pro Concealer, guys. But yes, so I went and saw a therapist for about 3 weeks, which was actually the best decision of my life. My life this last few months. And I say that because literally it was just too many changes at once. I was dealing with the changes of a relationship ending. I was dealing with the changes of starting law school, and I was dealing with the changes of just learning that certain people around me were not truly there for me, and they didn't have my best interest. And so as a person who doesn't come from a silver spoon, my peers do not all match my level of ambition when it comes to school and when it comes to graduate school altogether. And so just finding myself in positions where I felt awkward to even mention that I was in school, that was definitely eye-opening for me, because it helped me to realize that although you have friends, everybody is not truly your friend, you know? And I just realized that my sponge is on my desk over there, and I do not want to get up. So we are going to figure this out together. Okay, cool. So one thing that I just recently started doing is using brushes for like my foundation and my base. Usually I would use like a primer, but let's be real, y'all. It's Saturday night. I'm not going nowhere. I just took a final yesterday. I'm just trying to get cute so that I can sit in my house and feel good about myself. You know, I'm one of them girls. So I'm really not going nowhere. So I'm not going to use primer because this is coming right off shortly anyways. But yes, next I will be using my Fenty foundation, guys. I love this. I live by this. I swear by this. And so I'll be just putting this on this brush since I don't got a sponge because my sponge is over there. And we're going to just see what magic I can work. And so another thing that I found with online law school was that it's actually very, very advantageous. Once I got past the little hiccups of finding out late and getting adjusted and getting my books on time, and immediately having homework, you know, things of that nature. Once I got past that, I came to realize that for me specifically, this has to be the best alternative that could have worked for me. So what I mean by that is going to school online and being able to be in class in my own home and not have to worry about the little things like Atlanta traffic was actually pretty beneficial because I'm not that great at being on time, and there is a rule with law school where you can't miss a certain amount of days, and that's different than with your undergrad. With your undergrad, you can now show up the whole semester and show up for finals and be fine. You know what I'm saying? As long as you show up on the days of your tests, you're fine. But in law school, even with having only 2 tests per class or 2 papers per writing class, you still have to go to class, because if you don't show up, one, you won't know the material, but also they'll drop you. So you have to be careful with that. And I did find that being home made it very, very easy for me to just navigate life and also ensure that I'm definitely sitting my butt down and attending my classes every single day. So I think I only missed 1 day of class, and that's because there was a like really ridiculous power outage a few weeks ago in Atlanta, and I didn't have power for like 48 hours. And one of those days ended up being a day I had a class, and so although I could have probably found myself at my mom's house or somewhere, I was overwhelmed, so I took that 1 day off. But other than that, I was able to attend all my classes. I didn't have any issues, and I definitely just appreciated being able to, if I'm overwhelmed, being able to just turn my camera off for a second and go lay down in my bed with my laptop and still be in class. And so I think for me mentally, with all the things that I did not know that I was going to have to deal with socially and just in general, yeah, I think that was definitely very, very much advantageous to me. Oh, and I forgot to mention that this is Shape Tape by Tarte, and I live by this concealer, y'all. It's so good. Like, you want to talk about just an instant, like, finished look, an instant glow, an instant everything you need, an instant snatch, an instant, oh, you was serious today, an instant, yes, baby, like, let's get it, let's go, we're going out tonight. If you want those vibes, Tarte Shape Tape. It'll get you snatched. It gets you snatched, and it's thick and it's everything. I've been using it since I was like a sophomore in college, which crazy enough was a long time ago. So yes, I'm loving this, y'all. I'm loving this. So also another thing that I think is very important to mention is that honestly, as a Black woman, I'm starting to learn that law school is not, as a Black woman, we definitely do need to just go beyond what is normal and push the limits. And so that's exactly what I plan to do when I started law school. Yes. So I had a vision board, and actually, funny enough, my vision board got adjusted 2 weeks after I made it, because one of the things on my vision board was my law school that I wanted to attend, and I got in 2 weeks later after making it. So I was able to cover up that portion of my vision board with a Louis purse. But in all seriousness, just having a vision board really helps to stay focused, because vision boards are great. A great way to remind yourself daily of your long-term and short-term goals, and emphasis on both, because on my vision board I have things that I can expect to accomplish by as early as February of next year, and then I have things that I really have to wait and I really have to work hard to accomplish. And what I found is that I was able to find moments in my law school first semester career where I had free time. And that's crazy. It sounds crazy, but I'm part-time. I'm a part-time student. And so, yes, I did find myself, just wanting to expand beyond what I was doing every single day. And I was able to do that with doing law school online and with my part-time program. Some of the things that I was able to do is start painting more. I paint all the time. This right behind me is one of my paintings. And so I was able to get into that. And that's something that I have not been able to get into for years. And I was able to get into it. Being that it's quarantine also played a role. But just playing around with that, it was a great way to deal with my emotions and my stress. So I really was having fun with that. And then secondly, I was able to start a business. Being that I am in law school, I want to be able to maximize my time. And so what I did was I started a face mask line, and I launched a t-shirt line, and I was able to get support from my followers on Instagram, and I put it on Twitter as well. But I was able to make some extra money that way and just learn how to run a business altogether. And I think that was super important, because I am interested in intellectual property. So learning how to build a business is like kind of important for my line of work. If I'm going to be a lawyer for businesses, I think I should have some knowledge on just the everyday aspects of a business. So that has been very profitable, and it has been amazing to start. It's called Lace by Lo, and I made a website in like 25 minutes using Squarespace. This is not sponsored. I'm just being honest. And if y'all are wondering what I'm doing, I have a pimple, so I'm creating a beauty spot, Not that I ever do this, I just thought it would be creative, and I don't think it worked, but it's okay. And so, yeah. So basically, that's what I was able to do to just stay in my little creative bubble and not feel overwhelmed. And I think that's the number one thing that I would recommend to anyone who is interested in starting law school is don't feel as though you have to stop everything else that is going on in your life. You do not have to stop the rest of your life to go to law school. I think what is important is to have a healthy balance and to make sure the people around you are aware of, you know, what it is that you're getting into, but you do not need at all to completely close yourself off or disappear from the world. I think it's not healthy, and I think that's how you become overwhelmed. Not fun, but just a quick story. My freshman year of college, I was a biology major, and that's exactly what I did. I made my whole life school, and during my final, I blacked out. I was just too stressed. And I think that's something that a lot of us make the mistake of doing. We'll like convince ourselves that we absolutely have to put all this pressure on ourselves when really that's the opposite of what you need to do. Being confident and being capable and being a productive person does not mean stressing yourself out to the point of blacking out, period. And lastly, because I am finishing up my makeup, I do want to leave with the thought of what my overarching purpose is in law school, because I think it's very important, and it is something that has made itself very known. And so honestly, I'm really passionate about social change. One of the reasons why I became a law school student, not a lawyer yet, is because Trump became president, y'all, and I just could not understand it. I was a junior in college. I kind of already knew that I didn't want to do pre-med, and then Trump became president. And me, as a woman who was born here but had immigrant parents, I just couldn't wrap my head around what was going on. So, where's my mirror? Got it. So yes, that is one of the things that caused me to make the change from my science major to my social science major, which was political science, and to start taking the idea of law school seriously. And so as I have went through these last few months of confusion, honestly, and then clarity, because now I do way better understand what's going on, I will say it's important to know your purpose and know why you're in law school. Of course, people oftentimes warn against going to law school unless you absolutely need your career for law. For me, I'm sure I could have built a career in law, or a career that fits the path that I want to go into. I'm sure I could have done it without law, but to me, my purpose and my goal and what really drives me is a social change. It is the idea of running a nonprofit one day and being able to assist in building our youth. I think I was raised very well. And I do believe that I have something to provide in terms of an example. I'm not perfect. I made a boatload of mistakes in my life, but I think that is part of what makes me accessible to others. You know, that's what stops me from being just another negative Nancy, or someone looking at another person and judging. You know, like I don't judge because I've been there, trust me. And so that's what I want to leave with you all. That's what motivates me. That is what has took me from finding out that I have homework due in 3 days to being here and taking a final and being confident in what I submitted. So definitely, if you are watching this for advice from someone like me, if you are anything like me, if you are a a young, I mean, you can be a person of color, but if you are a young person with passion, with drive, someone who doesn't quite have a whole lot of examples around them of lawyers or successful people and professionals, but you know that deep down there is a calling over your life and something, a purpose that you have that is greater than you, I would 100% encourage you to follow that. You know, nothing happens for no reason. And the desires that you may have definitely may tie to someone else's blessing in the future. And so I definitely wanted to just, you know, encourage someone out there to be fearless and to not take nothing for granted. Lastly, well, not lastly, I just have one more step after this. I'm going to use my glow kit. But I think while I wrap up, it would be unfair for me not to talk about Zoom. And y'all, Zoom truthfully is not that bad. The only thing I don't like is that people who normally would have like little opinions under their breath in a class, now their opinions become center stage because of how the Zoom software works. When they start just mumbling or talking, suddenly we all have their attention on them. That's a little annoying, especially because law school is so discussion based. So, you know, there can be some issues with that at times, but I'll just leave it at that because honestly it's not that deep. In life, some people are gonna annoy you. So this is the final look, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. And yes, we finally have an outro after that last video. I had to be sure we had an outro. But I would really like to thank y'all for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you have any other questions for me. I'm going to be rolling these Get Ready With Me's with the question law school Q&As. Those are going to be rolling out, so definitely leave your comments below. And yes, y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.